You know that feeling, right? You launch a brand new project and you just can't stop checking the stats. You're living and dying by those early numbers. But what if I told you that all that data, it's basically a lie?
I know, that sounds kind of dramatic. But seriously, your first 30 days of data, they're not just a little off. They are actively trying to trick you, to convince you that your brilliant idea is a total dud. And getting this one concept is maybe the most important thing to survive that brutal early phase of any new venture.
So, is your new project really failing? Man, that question, it keeps you up at night, doesn't it? You pour your heart and soul into something and all you see is this tiny trickle of engagement, a few measly dollars. And that little voice in your head just gets louder and louder. This isn't working. Just quit. The thing is, that's like judging a marathon after you've taken your first 10 steps. It makes no sense.
Okay, let's just be honest for a second about what month one really is. It's not that big, explosive launch we all dream about. Nope. It's the grind. It's putting in absolutely maximum effort for what feels like, well, for returns you can barely even see.
Take a look at this. $47. And that's a real number from a real project's first 30 days. $47. After all the hours of creating, promoting, and stressing, that's it. When you look at that number all by itself, wow, it feels like a punch to the gut. It just screams failure, doesn't it?
And that's when this thought creeps in. Is this even worth it? And let me tell you, every single person who has ever tried to build something new has felt this exact same thing. It's that moment of doubt where the effort just seems to completely crush the reward. But listen, if you're feeling this, it doesn't mean you're failing. In fact, it means you're right on schedule. The problem isn't your project, it's your timeline. You're just looking at the clock way too soon.
But hold on, because right after that brutal grind, something starts to happen, a shift. It's so subtle at first you might not even notice it, but it's there, and it's powered by one of the most potent forces in the universe. This, my friends, is where the magic begins.
It all comes down to something called the compound effect. Now, we usually hear about this with money and investing, but guess what? It applies to everything. All that work you did in month one, the work that only got you $47, it wasn't wasted, not for a second. That was you laying the foundation. Every article, every video, every new follower, think of them like seeds that are just starting to grow and build on each other.
And the way it works is actually pretty simple. You take these small actions every single day. Those actions lead to tiny, almost unnoticeable little wins. But then, those wins start to stack up. They link together, and slowly but surely, they build real momentum. And the best part? You're not waking up and starting from zero every single day anymore.
So this is the core idea. You have to stop looking at the 30-day snapshot. To see the truth, you've got to zoom out and look at the 90-day story. That's when you finally get a real, honest picture of what you're actually building.
So check this out. Here's month one. That pathetic little bar, right? So discouraging. But then look at month two. Okay, it's bigger. The momentum is starting to kick in. But then, bam, look at month three. It's not just a little bigger, it's way bigger. See, that's not just simple addition. That's compounding in action. That is what exponential growth actually looks like.
And this is where it all clicks. The 30-day story, it shows you low revenue and a sad, flat line that looks like it's going nowhere. It's a story that screams, you're failing, give up. But the 90-day story, that tells the truth. It reveals an accelerating growth curve, that beautiful upward hockey stick. So you've got two stories. One tells you to quit, the other, it tells you it's time to double down.
Once you really get this, it changes everything. It changes how you approach any new project. The game isn't just about working hard and hustling. It's about having the patience, the courage really, to stick around long enough to see the real results. Suddenly, patience isn't just waiting around. It's your secret weapon. It becomes your strategic advantage.
All right, so let's boil this all down. What should you take away from this? First, you've got to trust the compounding process. All that early effort matters, I promise. Second, forget the 30-day report card. Your first real test is at 90 days. Third, always remember that short-term data is a liar. And most importantly, know that patience isn't a weakness. It's a strategy. It's how you outlast everyone who quits too soon.
So the next time you're in that first month grind and you're feeling totally discouraged by the numbers, just remember this. Zoom out, trust the process, and give your hard work the time it deserves to compound. The real question isn't what your first 30 days say, but what story will your 90 days tell?